Hello everyone, my name is Lindsay Santacroce, and today I'm going to be presenting my research titled A Tale of Two Phases. The emotional attentional blink reflects sequential effects of visual and emotional salience. So let's start with a demo. You're going to see a bunch of flashing images on the screen, and I want you to search for and remember the image of a fruit you see, okay? Ready? Okay, what fruit did you see? Good! You saw blueberries. But did you find that a bit difficult? Did you happen to see this disturbing image that may have affected your ability to complete the task? In general, when an emotional stimulus is pitted against a neutral stimulus, that emotional stimulus will capture your attention even if that neutral stimulus is a target. And the reason you are less likely to report the fruit you saw in the demo was because of something referred to as the emotional attentional blink, or the EAB. This is also referred to as emotion-induced blindness, but I will be using the term emotional attentional blink for the remainder of this talk. In the emotional attentional blink paradigm, you have a stream of filler items, a single predefined target, and a to-be-ignored emotional distractor preceding the target. Then, following each stream, participants are prompted to enter the target they saw. The idea is that when you're viewing the stream of fillers and the emotional distractor pops up, it captures your attention and you unintentionally select it, and your brain takes the time to process it. Then, if the target appears shortly after the emotional distractor, like here at lag 2, when the target is 2 spots away from the emotional distractor, you are still processing the emotional distractor, and thus you're unable to select and process the target and are unable to report it following the trial. If you increase the emotional distractor to target lag, like here at lag 5, you have now finished unintentionally processing the emotional distractor and are now able to select, process, and report the target. To show this graphically, at shorter emotional distractor to target lags, such as here at lag 2, which is what you saw in the demo, participants perform very poorly. However, as the lag increases, so does target accuracy. There are many different paradigms used to study the EAB. The original by Most et al. In 2005 used a stream of landscape images with rotated landscape targets. Kennedy and Most in 2015 used an image stream of objects with targets outlined in blue. And in image paradigms such as these, disturbing images of humans or animals are often used as the critical distractors. EAB paradigms using words, such as this one by Wang et al. In 2008, might have streams of number and symbol strings, fruit word targets, and taboo words as the emotional distractors. And using these and similar paradigms, a robust EAB effect has been replicated many times. However, looking at the standard EAB paradigms, I noticed something. The emotional distractors are physically distinct from the surrounding stimuli, disturbing images of humans or animals among landscapes or objects, or taboo words among number and symbol strings. I also want to point out that EAB studies will sometimes have a neutral condition in addition to the emotional condition. The neutral critical distractors are often neutral images of humans or animals in image paradigms or neutral words in word paradigms, both of which are still physically distinct from the surrounding stimuli. And while the emotional distractors yield a strong blink, these neutral distractors will also yield a blink, although weaker than the emotional blink. I also want to point out that in the demo we did earlier, this is what you saw. So I actually cheated and boosted the physical distinctiveness of the emotional distractor by making it brighter than the rest of the stream. So was it the emotional valence that caused an EAB, or was this actually a pop-out blink caused by the physical distinctiveness? So while it's assumed that emotion captures attention resulting in a blink, perhaps it's actually the physical distinctiveness that captures attention, and then emotional valence prolongs or magnifies the blink. So the current study asked if the stimulus-driven attentional capture seen in the EAB is actually driven by emotion or rather by the physical distinctiveness of the distractor. We hypothesized that in a stream of filler items, a typical physically similar critical distractor will yield no blink. An emotional critical distractor that is physically similar will yield the expected EAB. A filler item that is physically distinct from the surrounding stimuli will yield a stronger blink, and a critical distractor that is both emotional and physically distinct from the surrounding stimuli will yield a blink that is even stronger and lasts for a longer duration. This would indicate that it is actually distinctiveness that captures attention, and then the capture is magnified and prolonged by emotion. And here's how we tested this. Our paradigm used streams of image stimuli. The filler items were images of common everyday objects. The targets were images of fruit. The emotional distractors were unpleasant images of humans, and following each stream, participants were shown an array of 20 fruits and were told to select which fruit they saw during that trial. Crucially, all images were covered by a black box set at 50% transparency. And then the critical distractor was manipulated by its physical distinctiveness, so we have physically similar and physically distinct, as well as its valence, so we have baseline or emotional. In the physically similar baseline condition, the critical distractors were another filler image of a common everyday object covered by the black 50% transparent box. So this is considered the true baseline condition. In the physically similar emotional condition, the critical distractors were unpleasant images covered by the box. But in the physically distinct conditions, the boxes were removed, and so the critical distractors appeared brighter than the surrounding stimuli, much like what you saw in the demo. Since we were particularly interested in the duration of the blinks in each condition to see if emotion prolonged the capture by physical distinctiveness, it was crucial that we were extremely sensitive to the time courses. Thus, each image in the stream was presented for 50 milliseconds. We used lags 1 through 6 and then lag 16, and we compared each condition to the physically similar baseline condition at each lag. Here are the results. As expected, there was no blink in the baseline similar condition. There was a weak blink in the emotional similar condition with an ambiguous Bayes factor trending towards favoring the effect. There was a strong blink in the baseline distinct condition and an even stronger blink in the emotional distinct condition. Now I want to look at just lags 1 through 6 to better visualize the shapes of the blink. As I said before, each condition will be compared to the baseline similar condition at each lag to determine the time course of each blink. First, looking at the emotional similar condition, we can see that there was no difference from baseline at lag 1 or at lag 2. Then there was a difference at lag 3, indicating the initiation of the blink. Then the blink continued to lag 4 and maybe lag 5, although the BF was ambiguous, it was leaning towards favoring the difference. And then the blink was fully recovered by lag 6. So in the emotional similar condition, the blink began at lag 3 and lasted about 2, maybe 3 lags. In the baseline distinct condition, the blink began right away at lag 1, continued to lag 2, and maybe lag 3, again with an ambiguous BF favoring the difference, then likely recovered by lag 4, and definitely recovered at lag 5 and 6. So in the baseline condition, the blink began right away at lag 1 and lasted 2, maybe 3 lags. In the emotional distinct condition, the blink again began right away at lag 1, continued through lags 2, 3, and 4, and likely recovered around lag 5, although the BF was ambiguous but was against the difference. The target accuracy did deviate from baseline again at lag 6, but we'll just say that it recovered at lag 5 to stay on the conservative side. So in the emotional distinct condition, the blink began right away at lag 1 and lasted around 4 lags. So looking at this together, it seems that the pop-out blink caused by physical distinctiveness begins early at lag 1 and then lasts around 2 to 3 lags. Then the emotional blink caused by emotion begins later at around lag 3 and lasts around 2 to 3 lags. And then putting those two conditions together, you get two phases. The pop-out blink driven by physical distinctiveness that is then extended by an emotional blink. I'd like to thank my lab for all their help, the OPAM team for organizing this event, and all of you for listening.